Not yet. Councilors Turco and Peach, are you ready to? Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the City Council this Thursday, September 11th, 2025. City Council President Julie Daigle is unavailable this evening. Unfortunately, she has a work conflict. So I, as President pro tempore, will be chairing the meeting this evening. And all the councilors are present this evening. Public participation to this meeting is provided in person and remotely via Zoom in accordance with Mass General Law. The Zoom link can be found on the city website. This meeting is also being televised and recorded by Peabody Television and recorded by the City Council stenographer. Please join us for a moment of silence in memory and dedication in honor of all those affected by the terror attack on September 11th, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation. You heard the motion for approval of the record. All in favor, any opposed? It's a vote.
Madam President?
If there are no objections, or a couple of items we're going to take out of order at the request of the mayor, one being 7C, which is the nomination for Michael Garabedian to the Board of Registrars. Can I get a motion, Councilor Gamache?
Move under suspension of rules to go to item 7C. So move.
Thank you, Councilor Gamache. You heard the motion. All in favor? Any opposed? It's a vote. With that, Mayor, would you like to speak on this?
Thank you, Council. Appreciate the courtesy and very happy to bring forward for a position on the Election Board of Registrars, Mike Garabedian. I think all of you know Mike over the years. He had a very distinguished career here in the city of Peabody as an elected official, first as a school committee member contributing to many important projects and initiatives, and then as a city councilor where he distinguished himself as a hardworking, caring, committed councilor. In particular, he did a lot of great work on the Municipal Safety Committee. Mike is a deeply caring person of the city of Peabody, he and his family, and wanted the opportunity and was looking forward to serving the city in this position. I thought with his background, his knowledge of the city and elections, he'd be an excellent fit and a team player. He has always been, and he fit right in with Allison and her team and the Board of Registrars as a whole. Mike is here tonight with his wife, Marion, and I think he'd be an excellent fit on this board and would continue to do some great work in the city of Peabody like he always has. And Mike is here.
Great.
Thank you.
Mr. Garabedian, would you like to come up? I know your way to the podium, but you take your time. Has it been that long? Push the button.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for those kind words. Madam President, my new boss, Allison, honorable members of the council, I want to thank you. I'm excited to get involved again. I might not work as hard as I did on the council, but I promise you I'm going to give you my best. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Councilor Gamache.
Yes, thank you. I've had the honor of knowing Mike well before his school committee days. We've had a great friendship through all the years, and he's always, pestering me, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that, what board can I get on, what board can I get on? Well, finally you landed, and by the way, he bought me a coffee this morning, which never happens. Mike never spends any money on anybody but himself. But anyways, I served with Mike on the city council for many years, and he was always a reasonable guy. He always was well up to date with what the issues were, and I think he'll be a great addition to the Board of Registrars. My condolences to Allison, having to put up with him for the next 2 years, but I wish you the best, Mike.
Thank you,
Thank you, Council.
Thank you, Councilor Gamache. Any other councilors have any remarks? Which I'll be shocked if you don't with this guy. Councilor Turco.
I just want to say, Mike's become a great friend over the last 10 years. One of my regrets is that I didn't get to serve with you. You left right as I got sworn in. So, we have a lot of mutual friends in South Peabody, and they spoke so highly of you. So I was a little disappointed that we didn't cross paths, but I'm glad to see you here, and I was actually hoping you'd be sitting next to me next year, but who knows, maybe down the road. Congratulations.
Thank you, Councilor.
Councilor Rossignol.
Thank you, Madam President. I'll be brief. Mike, I've known you a lot of years. You're a great man. You're level-headed, and I think you're going to do a fantastic job. Welcome aboard again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Rossignol. Any further remarks? I have one remark. I had the pleasure of working with Councilor Garabedian, both as a school committee member and as a counselor. And he always wanted to sit next to me, so he would rig the seat drawings. I know you did. And but Mike, all kidding aside, he never took things personally. We were on a school committee that really was sometimes a knockdown, drag out. But after the meeting, he never took anything personally, always had a joke to lighten things up, and was definitely just a calm, cool head on every committee that I've served on him with. So I'm glad that you are willing to commit further, more of your time to the city, because the city will surely benefit from whatever you have to give. And I really thank you for continuing to serve the city, Mike.
Thank you, Councilor Manning. And, one of the reasons why I was so nice is because I really wanted to sell you a car, and I don't think I ever did.
I think I bought 3 from you. So, there. That being said, how about a roll call on this vote? Did you make a motion? Would you like to make a motion?
Yes, thank you. And,
Thank you.
And I got you beat. I bought 5 cars from him. So anyways, with that being said, I move approval on the appointment from His Honor the Mayor for Michael Garabedian, 39 Murray Street, Peabody, Mass., to the position of the Board of Registrars, term to expire 4/1/2027, a 2-year term. So moved.
On the motion, remarks on the motion being none, roll call.
Councilors Turco,
Yes.
Peach. Yes. Gould,
Present.
Gamache,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Welton.
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Rossignol.
Yes.
Melville.
Yes.
Manning Martin.
Yes.
Motion carries 9-0, 1 voting
I'll
present.
change that vote, I'm sorry. Can I vote affirmative, please, clerk? Thank you.
Evidently, that was a joke. Let's do a real roll call again, please, on the motion.
Councilor Turco,
Yes.
Peach. Yes. Gould,
Yes,
Gamache.
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Welton.
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Rossignol.
Yes.
Melville.
Yes.
Manning Martin.
Yes.
Motion carries 10-0.
Thank you again, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you, councilors.
Next item that the mayor would like us to address, if we take out of order, would be 9C in your packets. It is stapled together, so it is a special event application, the second one. If Counselor Turco, if you could make a motion to accept 9C
Motion to receive 9C
under suspension of the rules.
under the suspension of the rules.
Thank you, Counselor. You heard the motion. Remarks? None. All in favor? Any opposed? It's a vote. Mayor.
Great. Thank you, Council President. Thank you, councilors. Again, great to be with you. Appreciate the courtesy in going to this item. I did present two special event applications. I know there's been some confusion. A lot of it has been on our part in terms of special event applications and the proper procedure. I know we have that in committee, and we're working through those issues. Both these came to us in August. We wanted to bring them forward to notify the council of these big events, but also just to try to figure out in terms of next steps. Very happy to bring forward this particular proposal for, which is number 9C, for a special event. It's a cornhole tournament, and that's going to be at East End Veterans Memorial Park. I'm very glad to be joined tonight by Sally and Luis, who are going to speak about what brings us here today, but it's a very special cause for their family member, Jason Bernard, who passed away in May, and they're going to be starting a scholarship fund in his memory. And we did, in terms of the process, we did go to all the department heads to get the sign-offs, the Park and Rec Department, Department of Public Services, Police, Fire, and Police, Fire, Park and Rec, Department of Public Services, and Health Department, and all were enthusiastically supportive of this event. Chief Griffin and the Police Department will be using the grill for this event, and they will be helping with food. Hopefully it's a nice day and we get a big crowd, and also wanted to take the opportunity to start spreading the word for this event. But I really wanted to turn it over to Sally and Luis to talk about what's behind this and moving forward. So.
Thank you. If you could just state your name into the record, please.
My name is Sally Rosario, and this is my brother, Luis Santana. We want to thank you for your time. We are turning our grief into action and looking to promote Jason's Legacy Foundation to recruit funds to give a scholarship to a student that may have faced something similar to Jason, and just really try to reintegrate the community, this diverse community, so that we can be more engaging and supportive to one another. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilor Turco, would you like to make a motion to approve?
I would make the motion to approve the event application of, is it Luis Santana as the applicant on this one, and Sally Rosario on
Thank you.
September 20th.
Thank you, Councilor Turco. You heard the motion. Remarks on the motion? Councilor Welton.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to clarify, so the address on this is going to be at Veterans Memorial Park, is that correct? Okay, great, thank you.
Any other councilors, any other remarks? Being none, let's have a roll call on the motion.
Councilors Turco,
Yes.
Peach. Yes. Gould.
Yes.
Gamache. Yes. Higgins.
Yes.
Welton.
Yes.
McGinn.
Yes.
Rozignol.
Yes.
Melville.
Yes.
Manning Martin.
Yes,
Motion carries 10-0.
thank you.
If I could, Council, just one more moment. Thank you for, again, the courtesy, and thank you for that vote. I just wanted to, again, take the opportunity. The event is Saturday, September 20th, not this coming Saturday, the following Saturday. It's at East End Veterans Memorial Park, right on Walnut Street. It's a cornhole tournament. There'll be food and all kinds of different aspects to it. Those that are interested, you can sign up certainly beforehand, or just come that day, and I think be a part of something very special as we kick off this effort. And I really wanted to thank Jason's family who are here and have been really helping us on a number of issues to try to do better as a community in our school system and across our community. And this is another effort. I also wanted to mention, to take this moment, Jason's family is also spearheading an effort. We are going to have a community walk in Jason's memory, as well as efforts through our task force. That is going to be Saturday, October 11th. It's going to become an annual event. We're going to start doing it, this year it's going to be in October, but we're looking to have it as an annual event in August before the start of the school year. And we're going to make that an annual tradition to kick off the school year. And it's going to be, we'll get more details to you. It's going to take place at the Brown School, which was Jason's elementary school. The walk will start there. It's going to be about a 5K walk. And we're going to be walking a route and then coming back and having some food and some booths and some information at that as well. So we'll get more information to all of you regarding the walk, but that's going to be Saturday, October 11th, and again, more details will come. But please, anybody who's interested, reach out to City Hall about the cornhole tournament, but please, if you're able to come by that day, I think it will be a special event. So thank you, Council President, for allowing me this opportunity. And okay.
Councilor Rosino?
Thank you, Madam President. I'll be brief. I just wanted to thank you and commend you for trying to bring the community together in such a great way, and I appreciate this. This is excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Rosino. I echo those remarks. The community is terribly sorry for your loss, and we thank you for putting this together, and I'm sure it's going to be a great success. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mayor. Councilor Turco.
Madam President, would you like me to continue? There was one more on 9C while we have it in hand. There's one more approval for...
Yeah, let's clean that up. Thank you.
Okay, it's an event at 5 Centennial Drive. It's a Touch a Truck event. There's also a car show that's from noon to 3 on August 19th. Oh, I think this, oh, that's the date of application. Okay. Anyway, move to approve the special event application for Dylan Langelier, 5 Centennial Drive, Suite 100 for a car show and Touch a Truck from noon to 3. And I don't see the date. Maybe Councilor Peach can point it out to me. Madam Clerk, are you aware of a date on?
It's supposed to be on a proposed date and location, but the date is not on there.
Location.
I believe that came through the mayor's office, so I think if we can approve it, we can tidy that up ex post facto.
Very good. We'll move to approve date pending with an answer from the mayor.
Thank you. As he prefaced that we put this matter into committee, and he's working on correcting some of the idiosyncrasies, so that would be one of them. So thank you, Councilor. Councilor McGinn.
Yeah, on the motion, maybe just add all papers being in order to clean it up.
That suggestion?
I will add all papers being in order.
Very good. On the motion, Councilor Welton.
Thank you, Madam President. I have not had an opportunity to speak with the organization that's requesting this, but just as a way of background, it's an organization that provides occupational and physical therapy for children of varying abilities. So that's what the funds will help support. So just to give you context.
Thank you, Councilor Welton. On the motion, any further remarks? Being none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Thank you, Councilor Turco. Next up are hearings. 4A, a special permit for Sharon Ramos on 6 Bourbon Street to operate a kennel in a BR zone district for the use of cat-only boarding facility. Would the clerk please read the notice?
Notice is hereby given that the City Council of the City of Peabody, acting as the special permit granting authority, will conduct a public hearing on Thursday evening, September 11th, 2025, at 7:30 p.m. in the Frank L. Wigan Auditorium, 24 Lowell Street, Peabody, Mass., and remotely via Zoom on the application from Sharon Ramos, 15D Fillmore Road, Salem, Mass., for a special permit requesting to operate a kennel in a BR zoning district for the use of a cat-only boarding facility at 6 Bourbon Street, Peabody, Mass., as filed in accordance with Sections 4.2.5, 6.1, and 15.7 of the Peabody zoning ordinance. For remote participation using the Zoom platform, please visit www.pbd-ma.gov under City Calendar on the homepage or contact the City Clerk's office. PBD City Council, Councilor Julie K. Daigle, City Council President.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Good evening. Could you please state your name into the record and tell us what you would like to do?
Sure. My name is Sharon Ramos, and I currently own a cat hotel business in Beverly, and I started that business 12 or 13 years ago. Before that, I worked for a cat-only veterinarian for 23 years, so my background is cats. Unfortunately, the owner of the building where I've been at for 12 or 13 years is going to take our space for his own business. So we lost our space in Beverly, but we found a place in Peabody, and we're super excited to come here.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Is there anyone in the audience to speak in favor of this application? Anyone in favor? Anyone on Zoom? Nobody on Zoom. Is there anyone? Sir, would you like to speak? Okay, thank you. Thank you for chiming in. Okay, you've got a lot of support back there. All right, excellent. Is there anyone in the audience to speak in opposition? Anyone in the audience to speak in opposition? Being none, is there anyone on Zoom? No opposition. Councilor Gamache?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. I spoke to Ms. Ramos earlier before the meeting. I would also like, under suspension of the rules, to receive late 1 from the Health Department. So moved.
On the motion, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote.
Yes, and this is a list of recommendations, and I showed them to Ms. Ramos, and she's basically saying, yeah, that's no problem. That's what she plans on doing anyway. So it's just recommendations. I'm not going to apply it to the permit because it's basically recommendations. They have no objections. And I have no further questions. This facility is located on Bourbon Street, and it's where the old bowling alley used to be, next to the laundromat. So if there's, I'll open it up to the rest of the council.
Thank you, Councilor Gamache. Councilor McGinn.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you to Councilor Gamache, I have no issue with the application whatsoever, but the list of or suggestions from the Health Department is consistent with other similar businesses where we have attached those as conditions. So for the sake of consistency, that would be my suggestion here as well, to just add the list. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilor McGinn. Councilor Rosano?
That was going to be my recommendation as well, especially where 4, 5, 6, and 7 and 8 all say must. So I do think it should be part of the orders of condition.
Thank you, Councilor Rosano. Councilor Turco?
Yeah, we all think alike. That's exactly, I wanted to add the conditions to the special permit. But while I have the floor, I just wanted to ask Councilor Gamache, was that 1934 there was a bowling alley in that area? I have no recollection in the last 20 years.
That's because you're a carpetbagger and you really don't know what goes on west of Route 128. It used to be Bowl 76 back in the day.
Bowl 76.
You remember, a councilor will remember that, Bowl 76.
You did not answer the question for the record of what year that may have been.
Well, I was born in 60, so I don't know. But thank you for bringing that up. For those people that don't know, Councilor Manning Martin will back me up.
I was very, very young.
Yeah, well, you know, most of you people are compared to me.
Okay, where were we after that love fest? Councilor Welton.
Thank you, Madam President. I see here the business hours are 8 to 5:30, so it's a day boarding facility. There's no overnight stays, right? Okay.
It is overnight boarding. It's
Okay.
cats only, no dogs. The only animals that we house are cats.
Got it. And then just if it's overnight as well, is it staffed over the evening or is it remotely monitored?
It is not staffed, but we have security cameras. We have sprinkler systems. We have the fire department connected right in there. More than we had in Beverly, much better than we had in Beverly.
Okay, great. And then my last question, this is more probably for the council. I don't know where we landed on. We've had Kennels have to come back even if they're not doing additional work. We kind of landed on this earlier this summer. I don't know if this is familiar with anybody, but have we cleaned that up? Councilor Rosendahl seems to maybe have some more background.
Councilor Rosendahl?
Just for clarification, that was on, regarding kennels that were already existing, so then they had to come before us to get the permit, and that's because of a state ordinance, not necessarily anything we're doing here. So now that she's going through this process, now that kind of covers her base.
Okay, so, okay, no other questions right now,
Thank you.
so thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Welton. Any further remarks, comments from the council? Being none, Councilor Gamache.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. At this time, I would move approval on the application from Sharon Ramos, 15D Fillmore Road, Salem, Mass., for a special permit requesting to operate a kennel in a BR zoning.
Councilor Gamache, can you close the
I'm
public
sorry.
hearing?
Close the public hearing.
Bull 76,
Poll
yes.
76.
Motion, it did. Motion to close the public hearing. All in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Councilor Gamache.
Yes, at this time, I move approval on the application from Sharon Ramos, 15D Fillmore Road, Salem, Mass., for a special permit requesting to operate a kennel in a BR zoning district for the use of a cat-only boarding facility at 6 Bourbon Street, Peabody, Mass., as filed in accordance with sections 4.2.5, 6.1, and 15.7 of the Peabody zoning ordinance, with the hours of operation 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., and the list of recommendations from the Health Department be applied to the special permit as well. There is 9 conditions. So moved.
Thank you, Councilor Gamache. On the motion, remarks? Being none, roll call.
Councilors Turco,
Yes.
Peach.
Yes.
Gould.
Yes.
Gamache.
Yes.
Higgins.
Yes.
Welton.
Yes.
McGinn.
Yes.
Rozignol.
Yes.
Melville.
Yes.
Manning Martin.
Yes.
Motion carries 10-0.
Congratulations. Thank you very much, and good luck with everything. All right. Moving right along, 4B, special permit, Peabody Monofill Associates. Earth removal permit to remove approximately 91,700 cubic yards of earth and material from the property at 0 Forest Street. Would the clerk please read the notice?
Notice is hereby given that the City Council of the City of Peabody, acting as the special permit granting authority, will conduct a public hearing on Thursday evening, September 11th, 2025, at 7:30 p.m. in the Frank L. Wigan Auditorium, 24 Lowell Street, Peabody, Mass., and remotely via Zoom on the application from Peabody Monofill Associates, Inc., now known as Reworld Peabody, Inc., 141 Cranberry Highway, West Wareham, Mass., for an earth removal permit to remove approximately 91,700 cubic yards of earthen material from the property at 0 Forest Street, Assessors Map 69, Parcel 5, Peabody, Mass., is filed in accordance with Section 14 of the Peabody zoning ordinance. For remote participation using the Zoom platform, please visit www.peabody-ma.gov under City Calendar on the homepage or contact the City Clerk's office. Peabody City Council, Councilor Julie K. Daigle, City Council President.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Sir, would you please state your name into the record and tell us what you would like to do?
Good evening. Thank you. I'm Dennis Moran with Ty and Bond. We're representing Reworld, and I'm trying to, I think it's like F5. There we go. Maybe not. There we go. Sorry, there's a delay between my computer. Okay. Good evening, everybody. So Dennis Moran with Ty and Bond. We're representing Reworld to discuss a possible special permit at the Peabody landfill off of Farm Ave or Forest Street. So over the last 15 or so years, Reworld, previously Covanta, PMA, Peabody Monofill Associates, has been operating the landfill. So they started operating, so Covanta purchased and acquired Peabody Monofill Associates in 2008. And they started operating phase 1 after the acquisition. Phase 2 was permitted in 2012. and constructed in 2013. And then throughout the years, there's been additional phases. We were actually in front of this same council back in 2012 to ask for the same permit that we're here tonight. In 2021, Phase 3 was permitted, and in 2024 it was constructed. And then right now we're in the process of planning for Phase 4. So Phase 4 is in front of Mass DEP for review and hopefully approval. And we need some local approvals as well, specifically for the removal of the overburden and bedrock. And there's been some changes of the names over the time, as I mentioned. So Covanta was rebranded as ReWorld recently, so it's the same people. We have Steve Maloney behind me, who has been with Covanta since, I believe, 2008. So he's been here quite a few times. As I previously mentioned, we're currently working with the Department of Mass DEP to review the plans for the Phase 4. So that's ongoing right now. And then for the local permitting, we need this permit for the special permit. We're coordinating with the Board of Health. We will be in front of the Planning Board and the Community Development Authority, as well as the Conservation Commission, so that we're anticipating all of that. So this application is to remove about 92,000 cubic yards of overburden and bedrock for the construction of Phase 4. And this was included in the original permits back in 2009 and 2012. So to date, approximately 410,000 cubic yards of material has already been removed from site for the construction of the landfill, and we're seeking approval to remove about another 100,000, 91,700 yards. So it's kind of why we're here. So this is proposed Phase 4. The city's water tower is right here, if you can see my mouse moving. So these are the construction level drawings that are in front of Mass DEP for their review and approval. We'll also be here in front of the city at the various boards as well. So I'm not sure if you have any questions, but that's kind of the gist. I'm happy to answer some questions about the proposed intent or what ReWorld is looking to complete over the next couple of years here. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience to speak in favor of this petitioner? Anyone in the audience to speak in favor? Anyone on Zoom? Nobody's on Zoom. Anyone in the audience in opposition to this petitioner? Anyone in the audience in opposition? Being none. Anyone on Zoom? No one's on Zoom. That being said, Councilor Gamache, you up again?
Yes, I am. Thank you. I met with the petitioner earlier this evening, and we went over some of the previous conditions of the permit that was granted on October 15th in 2009. Basically, everything is still the same, except for the hours of operation. That'll be Monday through Friday, 7 to 6, Saturday, 9 to 6. They will do some blasting. As far as the routes of transfer of any of the loads that go out there, I will give specific directions as which to go on this permit. Because right now it's a scattered removal. They don't know specifically as to where it's going to go. It's going to go where it's needed. So I want to protect some of the neighborhoods as far as which directions these trucks can travel. If those of you who are familiar with the site, if you drove down Route 1, just after the lights on Route 1, if you look to the right, you would have seen the previous operation that they had. They were almost down close to Route 1, and you could see the equipment that they were using to remove the materials. And this is just an extension of that to finish the 500,000 cubic yards, that was granted in 2009. This has been a phase type of operation. They have, naturally, they have to keep going with the site approval from the state, and this is just bringing it up, and this should be the final phase of the project. So I'll leave it open to the city, to the councilors for any further questions that they may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Gamache. Councilor Turco.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you to Councilor Gamache, you said Route 1 South, but Route 1 North. Okay, so this is, just look at it, it's the DDD, and my concern is that I think there's a bunch of residential houses in that area. Am I not correct? That's where the Jubilee Drive for Ward 1 residents intersects, and then we have the new Lucy building over there. I just don't know. A lot's changed since 2009 up there, so I'm not sure with the blasting if we need to notify these residents or businesses. And bedrock blasting is a bit different than regular blasting, if I'm not mistaken. So,
Councilor Gamache?
Yes, if the blasting is going to occur further away from those buildings, Jubilee Drive, they're primarily Dearborn Road is the access area. Jubilee Drive is further down. You have the only houses in the vicinity of that particular area would be the Papa Nicholas property and Woods Yard, and on the opposite side you have the Public Services Building. So it's further down. If you look at Route 1 North, it's further down towards the recycle facility that is on Route 1, and that's where they're trying to finish up the pad. So under our blasting rules, naturally they have to meet the fire standards and the blasting codes and all that stuff. So if there are any abutters, they will have to be notified.
okay, and then thank you, Dave, to Councilor Gamache, and also to the petitioner. You mentioned you discussed what you actually wanted to do there. So what do you want to do there?
So the removal of the bedrock is to allow for the installation of the next phase of the landfill. So the placement of ash from Reworld's facilities, most likely Haverhill is where most of this material is coming from, to be for the final disposal at the facility.
Okay, I mean, I wasn't here in 2009, so just give me a little better. So you dispose of the ash and you bury it, or what happens to the ash?
Sure. I'll give you a 10,000-foot view, and you could actually, if you, this is, let's see if I can zoom in here. See if it, okay. This is so phase 3, we'll call this the phase 3 cell. The first thing that is done is there's a drainage stone layer that's placed to allow any water, groundwater, to drain out from underneath the cell. Then there's a double composite liner, which is a layer of clay, a geocomposite, and a 60 mil FML flexible membrane liner system. And there's 2 layers of this to capture and collect any stormwater, leachate, contact water that comes in with the waste. That is all pumped out into, there's a pump house here, sent to the sewer system for final treatment and disposal. And then when the project is complete, if you look over here to the south, plan right, phase 2, the waste is capped in an impermeable liner for final disposal. So it's a multi-year process, but all the material is contained. I wouldn't say it's buried as much as mounded. But it is encapsulated and then monitored for ever, basically. So,
Okay, and while this process takes place, do you actually do air quality testing?
for the landfill itself, there's a multitude of requirements for Mass DEP. There cannot be any air is monitored. They're monitoring groundwater. They're monitoring. They come out there and do inspections. Mass DEP's out there whenever they want. We coordinate with the Board of Health quite frequently, and the city does have an operator at the scale house that sees the daily operations of the landfill as well. So there's a significant amount of regulations for the safety of the environment.
Okay, and then my last question with regarding truck travel down Linfield Street. Are your trucks marked so that they could be identified?
Yep, the trucks are marked, and a majority of this material is actually going to stay on site for the construction of the landfill for drainage stone, riprap, instead of importing material that they're going to use for construction anyways. Yes, some material may leave the site, but a majority of it's going to be used just for the construction of the landfill itself. So they use it for capping material, drainage stone. So.
Okay, and your trucks will say Covanta?
They will say, they're a third party for the rock removal. For the waste coming in, they will be labeled either Covanta or Reworld. So
Okay.
kind of different operations, but yes. But all the trucks are labeled, they're identified, they go over the scales when they leave. So there is a truck log of everything that comes in and out of the facility.
Okay, if you could just be sure that these drivers are aware of the truck route and do not travel the residential portion of Linfield Street, that would be great. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Councilor Turco. Councilor Welton.
Thank you, Madam President, and Councilor Turco, thank you. A lot of the questions you asked were the same that I had as well. Would you mind, again, just clarifying where the truck route will be for entrance and exit? To Councilor Turco's point, there are some neighborhoods there that just want to make sure if there is impact that we're aware. Thank you.
Sure. So the entrance, the only entrance to the facility is off of Farm Ave to the east. So a majority of the trucks I would anticipate taking a left out of the facility, going north on Farm Ave, and then taking a left on, I don't know the name of this road, but I believe the counselor has the truck routes as a condition, if you want to relist those. And, if they do have to be modified to concerns, I'm sure that's something we could consider to push them.
Yeah, I have the routes right here, if I may. It's going to be Forest Street to Route 1 North, so they come out and take a left onto Route to go to Route 1 North. Dearborn Road to Route 1 South, so that way they can turn around and go south. And Jubilee Drive, First Ave, so it's the extension of Jubilee Drive to First Ave to 128. They will not go on Linfield Street. It's basically the industrial park route to get to 128 either north or south. And it's pretty much delineated here. Trucks going to Salem, et cetera, will be via Centennial Drive, Summit Street to avoid excess truck traffic along Linfield Street for consideration of residents.
Great, thank you.
That's if it goes to Salem.
Yep. Thank you, Councilor Gamache. And just as far as volume, really the only one that I'm concerned about in Ward 1 is that last one, the Jubilee. I'm just curious as to volume of truck traffic that's going to be heading out that way. 'Cause I know that neighborhood, and I'm sure Councilor Turco could attest as well, is going to be pretty interested to know the amount of truck travel on that particular route down Jubilee.
So at this point, we don't have a quantifiable number of trucks that we're anticipating. As I mentioned, a majority of this will be used at the facility, but if that's a concern of the council, I'm sure we can scratch that route off.
If that's through, yeah, that would be ideal if you don't mind.
No, that's absolutely.
Great.
Let's remove it.
Thank you very much.
You all set, Council Welton? Thank you, Council Welton. Council Gamache, we do have a late 3.
Late,
Do you have it?
Under suspension of the rules, I'd like to receive late 3, so moved.
You heard the motion. All in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Thank you, Council Gamache. Councilor Rossignol.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you to the petitioner, are we just talking about Phase 3 this evening?
Phase 4.
Phase 4. So my fear is, Concom only gave us basically a one-word analogy saying as long as work is outside of all buffer zones, then Concom has no comment. But if you look at Phase 4, that is really close to roadways, to businesses. If you look at the outside lining of your diagram, usually before it comes to the council, Concom has given us a little bit more than as long as it's outside the buffer zone. So do you plan on going before Concom?
This is kind of hard for you to see, but there is minor areas of impact, not for the removal of bedrock, but for the construction of the landfill. So as part of the landfill construction, we anticipate going in front of the Conservation Commission for impacts within the buffer area. So there's a 200-foot buffer line right here, and then on towards Route 1, there's some minor grading within this buffer zone over here. So to answer your question, it's part of the overall project. Yes, we anticipate going in front of the Conservation Commission.
Because you plan on going into the buffer zone?
Yes, there'll be minor, not for the removal of bedrock, but for the construction or it's more the ancillary facilities for the stormwater features and some of the access roads.
Okay, so the predominant amount of your digging, actually, if you could stay zoomed in, will be centralized in that drawing?
Yes, in this area right here. So that, as shown on that aerial, that's kind of like the overall area of Phase 4, just for a graphical representation. But for the rock removal, we are outside of any resource buffers in accordance to the Wetland Protection Act.
And when do you start, I'm sorry, through the chair, when do you plan on starting the bulk of your excavation in that area?
We would like to start as soon as we have all local approvals.
Okay. All right. I'll yield for further comment, but thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Rosenau. Councilor McGinn.
Thank you, Madam President Pro Temp. Can you flip back? So we have some pages of this with the application, but we don't have your entire presentation here. Do you have copies of this that you?
Yeah, I can email this to you or provide hard copies.
Okay. You know, unfortunately, we didn't get an opportunity to look at that ahead of time. So, and this is a fairly complex application. I'm not sure exactly. Can you flip back through the presentation? I'll tell you when to stop.
Sure. I'll start from the beginning.
Next. There. So this local permitting, you're saying specifically there that you need to go before the other boards. You need to go to the Board of Health. You need to go to the Conservation Commission. You need to go to the Planning Board. But yet your application says that you don't. And I'm a little confused because our council rules stipulate that you have to get all the subordinate approvals first before you come to us. So how is it that the application seems to suggest that you don't need those, but you're presenting to us that you do?
So this slide is specific to the overall construction of the landfill. So for the removal of rock and overburden, we do not need any additional.
So this is like a step in the overall plan. This is a portion of the high-level plan.
Exactly. So,
but there's more to come.
There's more to come. So
is there more to come before us, or is this the last thing that you need from the council?
This would be the last thing we need from the council itself. So once the rock is removed, then, or probably in conjunction with, start removing the rock, and then once Mass DEP approves the project, then we anticipate coming in front of the local Conservation Commission and the Planning Board for the construction of the landfill.
I'm kind of surprised that, Madam Chair, through you to the Councilor Gamache, I'm kind of surprised we don't, for something of this scope, that we don't have a departmental response from DPS on this. I mean, seems to really beg for some engineering review that I don't really feel. I feel like we're at a disadvantage here without the full departmental responses on this.
If I may, DPW works in conjunction, well, previously worked in conjunction with Covanta as to what was going on up there. And I can only attest to that through my conversations with Will Paulitz. The process for this permitting is, for the excavation or the removal of 91,000 cubic yards. This is a complete, to complete the access that we have for ash fill. So DPW was well aware of this from 2009, when we first permitted this, because this process was going to be several years in the making, which we have seen already. But with the Board of Health, it's naturally, it's the air contaminants and stuff like that. But the planning board and redevelopment, that's for when they start making the phase work, correct? When you start bringing in the monofill? And then the last one is conservation, because they have to add wells off the area of construction. So they'll have to go to put the wells, correct me if I'm wrong, to put the wells in, they have to get approval from conservation, because that's going to be off the site, off the area. But when I worked with, when I had Covanta before us the last time, 2009, there was very little problems with it, and back then I think it was Dave Terranzoni who was the director, and they had no problems with them. So I can only give you the past history. This is new. It's come along since, how many years have you been out of there?
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while, so I'll yield. If I might have clarified some of the things, I don't know.
I mean, you did, Counselor, thank you. I just, is it your intent to condition this with all the 2009 conditions? Or, I mean, in your, I mean, that's, what, 16 years ago, so we have something from DPS that says that's all still relevant, that's comprehensive here in 2025 in terms of what we should be applying to this? I'm asking you, Counselor.
I feel comfortable in giving it, because this was a protracted type of permit that was given for the end plan, and this is the end plan. So, we don't have anything specifically from DPS, but I think that they work pretty tight with, at least they did with Covanta, now it's ReWorld. So I don't think there'll be a problem with the conditions that they had in 2009. That's my own opinion.
And you're looking at them because you're asking if they've refreshed anything with DPS recently? Is that?
I have not asked them that. If you may want to ask them if they have spoken with DPS. And
do you understand that?
Yeah, if I could. My name's Steve Maloney. I'm the regional landfill manager for ReWorld, in particular Peabody Ash Monofill. We work very closely with Will at the DPS. They have a city employee at the scale house who we work every day with. Will knows about this. We don't have any issues with it. But if I could go back to the permitting, because I see that the questions are basically about the permitting for this. We do have a conservation order of conditions to work outside the buffer zone. So we do have that. It's posted on our gate. It was just updated. So any of the work we did for the Phase 3 cell, which was back in 2024, that continues on to this blasting project. So we're not going to blast anything within that 100-foot buffer zone, not at all. We will have to update that when we construct Phase 4, but that's not till next year. So we'll worry about updating that then. But as far as the blasting is concerned, we are definitely outside the 100-foot buffer zone for the conservation. So they do know that, and we made it a purpose to do that. Also, as far as the blasting is only a small portion of it, so we're blasting like a big hole, and we're taking a lot of that material and building up roads and basins and berms around that. So that's when Dennis was mentioning a lot of the material is going to stay on site. That's what we're doing. We're blasting and building it up. So the DEP is specific about several setbacks. So we have a 200-foot setback from property lines that we have to take care of. So we can't come within these property lines, and the DEP has already approved that as such. So I kind of want to put your mind at ease that we're following DEP protocols, and all setbacks are being established. So.
Thank you. Through you to Councilor Gamache, so is this blasting a new wrinkle, or has this been ongoing with the?
So I was actually here in 2012 to renew the 2009 permit. So this has been ongoing since, well, when PMA was here, but the original phase one was early 90s.
Yeah, it was.
Which my understanding, if you talk to the fire chief, did not go as well. But since Covanta took over operations in 2009, as far as I know, they've been working hand in hand with DPS, the fire department. There has not been any ongoing issues. And it's, I mean, in 2015, 16, when was the majority of the blasting?
Oh, it was earlier than that. It was soon after 2012. I think we were done by 14.
Okay.
We were all done. And just to put your mind at ease again is, you know, we go through the fire department to get permits, but there's a fire detail. I'm sorry. So we have we go through the fire department, proper protocol, but they do have a fire detail. So there's a gentleman from the fire department there every time we blast. So again, following proper protocols and such.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and it sounds like you do. I just would feel a lot more comfortable if the fire department told us that in a departmental response, and if DPS told us that you were actually doing these things, and/or if anything needed to be adjusted, given the passage of 16 years of time. Well, regarding your presentation where you provided augmented information tonight that wasn't a part of what was submitted to us in advance, if you could submit that to us, we could have that as late communication. I'd move to receive the balance of the presentation, the new information as late communication, Madam Chair.
You heard the motion, remarks on the motion. I agree with you on the department head communication. It is lacking. I agree with you, Councilor McGinn. On the motion, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So again, I'm obviously a little uneasy with this, but I'm going to yield to other councilors. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor McGinn. Councilor Turco, you still on deck?
Yeah, thank you. You know, Councilman McGinn, you know, I'm sitting here and something doesn't feel right about it. And we have no blasting schedule. We have no commentary from the fire department. What is your time frame to begin this project?
Yeah, we're looking to start probably in the next couple of weeks, once we get approval and signed off, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think this is a bad move for this council to approve this without any information from our fire department. You mentioned the fire chief in your content. We've had zero information from the fire chief. We have new buildings that were just built recently, a lot of residents in that area. I don't recall, I live very close by, I don't recall any blasting in 2012, 13. You mentioned blasting is a small pot. Do you have a blasting schedule with you? What is it?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Blasting schedule. What days will you be blasting? How often will you be blasting? How long will you be blasting? You have none of that here.
So part of the submission that the fire department required about 15, 13 years ago was a schedule and a protocol for blasting.
All right, break. You know, 13 years ago is irrelevant to me. I wasn't there. Let's talk about today. Do you have a blasting schedule for today? Because there are residents that live very close to that area, and I'm quite sure they would like to know if they're going to hear daily blasting, hourly blasting, weekly blasting, and you expect me to approve an application, and then tomorrow when I get a call that there was a loud boom in the neighborhood, I have no idea or no answers to give to these residents as to when the next one will be. So you probably should have included this, and our fire department probably should have put a memo in regarding, you know, whether they approve of this and what their procedures will be. They always do that with any blasting, so I'm surprised we don't have it. To Councilor McGinn's point, yes, DPS should have some commentary here. That's not your fault, But how we approve this with zero commentary from anybody but Health. Health is the only department I believe we have a commentary from here. So with that, I won't support it tonight.
Thank you, Council Turco. I appreciate your remarks, but I am glad that you summarized with, it isn't their fault that the department heads that we need information from didn't submit. So let's all remember that as we're addressing the petitioner, please. And to your point as well, Council Turco, I'm noticing a trend here, and this has happened in the past, and we have to remind the department heads that their input is important, even when they think it may not be, that the Treasurer and Conservation Commission and the Collector's Office are the three that have responded to the last two special applications, and none of the others have. The fire did on one, but nobody else did on any of the others. So I think that point is ringing loud and clear. So thank you. What do you have?
I'm sorry, Council, I just want to clarify, Health gave us a late...
And Health,
late-
excuse me, of
Thank
course, Health, yes, they have. A late communication. So we have some trends going on. I think we all need to tighten up. Late communications, and department heads, please give us information. We need you. Councilor Rossignol.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you to Councilor Gamache, I think we're all kind of feeling the same way about this. Do you think it would be prudent to request Will Politz to weigh in on this, as well as the fire department, and we hold this for our next meeting in 2 weeks? Because, I mean, Concom was mine fear, but I think that that was rectified, at least in my mind, saying that that's not really going to be an issue until they start building close to the perimeter. But to Councilor Turco's point, I do think it's extremely important that we get a blasting schedule, that we also know it, because there are residents a lot closer now than they were 5, 10 years ago. So I think all of us would feel a little bit more comfortable if the fire department weighed in and as well as DPW. Just a thought, but thank you, Madam President.
Councilor Higgins and then Councilor Gamache, and I'm hoping you will have a recommendation as how you want to move forward, Councilor Gamache. Councilor Higgins.
I wanted to answer his question. He directed a question at me.
Okay.
If I may?
Yes.
First of all, we don't get notified about blasting, okay? Because there's blasting going on Route 1, and Councilor Higgins is taking the brunt of it. But that's beside the point. There's a certain distance that has to be notified within a blasting permit. Fairfield Apartments were there prior to this blasting taking place in 2009. I just want to clarify that. I have no problem moving this to the next regular meeting to get clarification from Will Politz and clarification from the fire department and any other departments that we may deem necessary that we should hear from. But as far as the blasting, their schedule might not always be normal because they might hit a spot there. But anyways, I will adhere to the recommendations from the council. I will eventually move to continue this to the next meeting, and I'll make the form of a motion of who should reply. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll just hold off on that and hear from the Ward 6 Council, Councilor Higgins.
Thank you, President. I just wanted to make the comment about the blasting. As Councilor Gamache mentioned, there's a lot of blasting that goes on in Ward 6. We have a quarry in the ward, and we have a lot of residents that live on the rim of that quarry. And when I see this Phase 4 plan moving closer to where residents may be or existing structures may be, I do worry about the schedule of the blasting. How long is this going to go on for? They could blast Monday through Friday. They could blast twice a day. We as a council may want to put conditions on their schedule of blasting due to the nearby residents. Furthermore, we have residents that, as you get closer to those residents, are you going to provide any kind of surveys, interior and exterior surveys of the abutting buildings? Because I deal with that yearly, where residents claim the blasting caused cracks in their foundation. I think there's a lot to consider, as Councilor McGinn had mentioned. We need to hear from DPS. We need to hear from our engineering department to determine, the depths that you're going to blast to, and how close you are to the perimeter, and how that's going to affect those structures nearby. Are we going to have seismographs measuring, the levels of blast, which we have now at the quarry in Ward 6? So when residents complain, and rightfully so, that they hear a loud blast, they want to know, were the limits exceeded? Are you exceeding the 133 dBm acoustical levels? So I think we definitely need to hear now that this project is moving much closer to the edge where the residents are and buildings and existing structures are. We have to hear from DPS to get their thoughts on this so that we as a council can decide if we're going to add additional conditions to this permit to protect the residents from this blasting situation that now has moved much closer to them. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Higgins. And I just will note that City Council President Julie Daigle has joined us this evening. Welcome, City Council President.
Thank you, Councilor Manning Martin. And I would appreciate if you can continue conducting this, just because I'm just stepping in, so we can switch off once this matter is over. Thank you.
Very good, will do. Councilor Gamache.
I just want to point out that everybody has said residences. Could you go to the map and show how far these residents are from the area you're going to be blasting, please?
This is probably the...
Can you blow it up a little bit where you might?
Sure. As far as I'm aware, we're absolutely closer to commercial and industrial buildings, but as far as residential structures, I believe we are moving away since we're moving north. There may be some residential buildings on the west side of Route 1. And to address some of the concerns of the council, I think it's very reasonable to provide some guidelines. This facility operates as it's 7 to 5, but I think we'd be understanding the potential disruption to the public. Put some confines of maybe 8:30 is a more reasonable time, just so we're not disrupting anybody. But most of the blasting, in my experience, and I understand that this is just me telling you, is fairly boring. They do not want to disrupt anybody because we just don't want the attention. So the charges are relatively low, they're shallow, and the rationale and the reasoning behind that is because we're trying to reuse the product more than just remove the material itself. So the charges are smaller. We're very aware that the water tower is on the site. So as part of this program, we will conduct a existing pre-blast survey of the structures that are in the vicinity. We don't want to damage it. It's just a hassle for us. So we do take a look at those, the buildings that are in the proximity, because it protects us usually more than the residents or the commercial buildings. Because as the councilor mentioned, that people claim that their buildings may be damaged, but we want to make sure that it's not us damaging them.
Councilor Gamache.
Yes, thank you. And I just want to, if there's no other question, I'd like to make the motion to continue this public hearing to the 25th. Is there space on that hearing that we can get it in? Okay. With that motion, I'd also like to send a correspondence to the Department of Public Services for their suggestions or whatever they have concerned with this, and if they feel free, I think Will Paulus should be here to answer these specific questions. The Health Department, we're going to have the air meters so that we know that's going to happen. Who else do we want there? Fire Chief, and the Fire Chief to come and explain to us the ramifications of a permit and whether or not there'll be the equipment on site, as Councilor Higgins alluded to, that we would monitor the the situation. And is there anything else that the council may wish to add to that motion?
Counselor Turco?
It's solely the blasting schedule provided by the petitioner, a blasting schedule.
We'll develop a blasting schedule and time frame, and, to the best of our ability, what the schedule it is, based on what we know right now, that, that we believe would be reasonable.
So include the blasting schedule with that as well.
Or
Excuse-
blasting parameters.
Sir.
Sorry.
Let the council, let the council put the conditions and make the requests. And then if we, excuse me, and then if we have questions for you on those, we will ask you, okay? Thank you. Councilor Gamache.
What the council's looking for is specific days, I think, so that we are understanding as to when they go off. And that's what we're trying to get here. I remember, I think it used to be 1 o'clock on Thursdays or Wednesdays. When I was working at Public Works, that once a week would feel the blast there. So something like that. So when you're doing your blast schedule, consider that. We're looking for days and specifically what we can know and let the residents know. Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion being formulated. I'm hoping it's concluded. Councilor Welton, do you have comments on the motion?
Thank you, Madam President. Through you to Councilor Gamache, I'd like the conditions to reflect the petitioners were kind enough to remove the truck route through Jubilee, so when it's back before us. Yep, thank you. Thank you, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you, my fellow councilors. I have a question for the clerk. Do you have that motion? All right, good job. There's a motion on the floor. Any other further remarks on the motion? Being none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Thank you. We will see you, when do we see this? September 25th. Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, thank you, counselors. Thank you, Counselor Manning Martin, for stepping in my absence. I'm sorry, I was at a September 11th event. We are going to proceed to item 4C, hearing, if the clerk wouldn't mind reading the notice.
Notice is hereby given that the City Council of the City of Peabody will conduct a public hearing on Thursday evening, September 11th, 2025, at 7:30 p.m. in the Frank L. Wigan Auditorium, 24 Lowell Street, Peabody, Mass., and remotely via Zoom on the application from Mohammed Al Amari and Mohammed Al Amari, care of Car Diva, Inc., 249 Andover Street, Peabody, Mass., requesting the transfer of a Class II motor vehicle license from Jeremy Martin, DBA Auto Choice of Peabody, Inc., at 249 Andover Street, Peabody, Mass. For remote participation using the Zoom platform, please visit www.pbd-ma.gov under City Calendar on the homepage or contact the City Clerk's office. Peabody City Council, Councilor Julie K. Daigle, City Council President.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. If the petitioner would like to come before us and state your name and address for the record and a brief description of what you're looking to do.
Okay, sorry, yes. Okay, so my name is Mohammed. We starting Cardiva in 249 Andover Street. We're just transferring the license from Mr. Jeremy to our names. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone before us that would like to speak in opposition of this? Seeing none, is there anyone on the Zoom platform? Nobody. Is there anyone that would like to speak in favor of this application? No one in person, anyone on Zoom? Nobody, seeing none. Counselor Peach.
Thank you, Madam President. Before I get into any conditions, I make a motion to receive late 2.
You heard the motion. All in favor? Any opposed? It's a vote.
Thank you. I spoke with the petitioner. This is, many of you know, Auto Choice on 114. Was there for many years. We're all talking about how we bought cars from Mike, and I bought a car from Auto Choice, just so you know. I haven't had enough time to buy 5 cars, Dave. We spoke about the existing license, which is for 32 unregistered vehicles. If you look at the parking plan, which I very much appreciate was included in this, it has exactly 32 vehicles. I spoke with the petitioner, and we've agreed to knock it to 30 unregistered vehicles so that there's space for customers. He described that the employees, that there'd be one employee that works here on site, and they would be using one of the cars on the lot because they bring them from their other location in Middleton. He's also been made aware of the ordinance of no unloading or loading cars in a public way, and so I will condition that just to push the point across that we have that ordinance on the books. But as I stated, they have a location in Middleton, I believe, and so the cars won't be delivered to this lot. They'll be delivered to their location in Middleton, inspected for sale, and then brought here with dealer plates. So I've never really had a lot of issues with this place. When it was Auto Choice, had some issues that I helped Auto Choice with other businesses around there. But he's aware that there's no parking on the street there, which is a Danvers residential area. But we actually passed an ordinance between Peabody and Danvers to prohibit parking on that end of the street at 114. So those will be my 2 conditions. No departmental responses that warrant any conditions, so I'll turn it over to the council.
Would any counselors like to comment? Seeing none. Counselor Peach.
Move to close the public hearing.
You heard the motion. All in favor? Any opposed? It's a vote. Counselor Peach.
Thank you, Madam President. Mohammed, I'd like to thank you for hanging out. It's a little bit longer than I thought it was going to be. With that, I will move to approve the application from Mohammed Almari, Car Diva Inc., 249 Andover Street, Peabody, Mass., for the transfer of a Class 2 motor vehicle license from Jeremy Martin, DBA Auto Choice of Peabody at 249 Andover Street, Peabody, Mass., with the following conditions. There's a maximum of 30 unregistered cars allowed on site at any given time. And the second condition, that there'll be no loading or unloading of vehicles on the public way. So moved.
You heard the motion. Any discussion? Seeing none. Roll call vote, please.
Councilors Turco.
Yes.
Peach.
Yes.
Gould.
Yes.
Gamache.
Yes.
Higgins.
Yes.
Manning Martin. Welton.
Yes.
McGinn.
Yes.
Rozignol.
Yes.
Melville.
Yes.
Daigle.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for your patience. I'm sorry to keep you here for so long.
No,
Congratulations.
thank you.
Moving right along to reports of committee, legal affairs. Councilor Rozignol.
Thank you, Madam President. Legal Affairs had a meeting earlier this evening. Present for that meeting were the councilors for that committee, Councilor Turco, Councilor Higgins, Councilor Melville, Councilor Peach, and myself as chair. We had one item. There were also, every other counselor was there except for Madam President. We had one item on the agenda, and that being Section 16-5, civil fingerprints. We had a meeting with the city clerk as well as Chief Griffin of the police department, and there was one motion that came out of the committee made by Councilor Turco, and that motion was to follow the recommendations of the city clerk regarding fingerprinting and/or queries through the city clerk's office, as well as changes in the way the Section 16-5C2 reads, which will now read, when the police department has determined an application has failed to pass the background check, the police department shall provide the applicant with a copy of the results of the applicant's fingerprints based on criminal record and background checks, and supplies the applicant the opportunity to preclude or challenge the accuracy of the information contained in it, including in the FBI identification record. There was one other change, and that was to 16-5C3, which I will submit for the record. That was supported unanimously by the Legal Affairs Committee. I now bring that to the council as a whole. So moved.
You heard the motion. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please. Oh, Councilor Peach, please.
Can I just get clarification, I guess, through to the clerk, what this vote does? Because I know you said you were going to type it all up and then we'd have to draft and advertise, so like the council would vote on it again?
Correct.
So
So
it's
it
just
came,
like a motion to have her do that?
Yeah, so through the chair to Councilor Peach, so that's a recommendation out of subcommittee for the clerk to come forward with everything that we discussed, and then we would move that forward to, as a committee, to draft and advertise. Yes.
Okay, great, thank you.
So the motion is to draft and advertise as presented? No. Just draft and present is the motion. Roll call vote, please. Thank you.
Councilors Turco,
Yes.
Peach.
Yes.
Gould.
Yes.
Gamache.
Yes.
Higgins.
Yes.
Manning Martin.
Yes.
Welton.
Yes.
McGinn.
Yes.
Rozignol.
Yes.
Melville.
Yes.
Daigle.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
And that is the report of committee. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilor Rozignol, and thank you guys for leading me through that one. And moving on to the Finance Committee, Councilor McGinn.
Thank you, Madam President. The Finance Committee met earlier this evening. Present for the committees were Councilors Gamache, Gould, Manning, Martin, Turco, and myself as chair. Also present were Councilors Welton, Peach, Higgins, Melville, and Rozignol. We had 3 items on the agenda. The first item was transfer of funds, various department accounts in the amount of $366,375, and also parking meter software services amount of $23,500. This item was presented to us by Director of Finance, Mr. Gingras. He explained that this was the final transfer request to transfer various between various fiscal 25 budget accounts and to close out the fiscal 25 budget. That was the first portion of that. With that as explanation, there was a motion by Councilor Gould to approve the transfer request, various department accounts attached to a communication from His Honor the Mayor dated August 12, 2025, in an amount of $366,375 to various department accounts in accordance with a list attached to a communication from His Honor the Mayor dated August 12, 2025, in that same amount, $366,375. Madam Chair, that motion passed the Finance Committee unanimously, and I now bring it for consideration of the full council. So moved.
Thank you, Councilor. You heard the motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilors Turco,
Yes.
Peach.
Yes.
Gould.
Yes.
Gamache.
Yes.
Higgins.
Yes.
Manning Martin.
Yes.
Welton.
Yes.
McGinn.
Yes.
Rozignol.
Yes.
Melville.
Yes.
Daigle.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Thank you. Counselor McGinn.
Thank you, Madam President. The second portion of that request was to, from Mr. Gingras, was to transfer parking meter revenue reserve to a parking meter software solution services. There was a motion made by Councilor Gould as follows. Move to approve transfer request parking meters, parking meter reserve, account number 270-0000-33001 in an amount of $23,500 to parking meter software services, account number 1004800542217 in an amount of $23,500. That motion passed the committee unanimously. I now bring it for consideration of the full council. So moved.
Thank you. You heard the motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilors Turco,
Yes.
Peach.
Yes.
Gould.
Yes.
Gamache.
Yes.
Higgins.
Yes.
Manning Martin. Welton.
Yes.
McGinn.
Yes.
Rozignol.
Yes.
Melville.
Yes.
Daigle.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Thank you. Counselor McGinn.
Next item on the agenda was weights and measures fees. There was a proposal made by our sealer of weights and measures, Mr. Jim Collins, that he put forward for our consideration. There were a couple of questions on it, but it was seen, according to Mr. Collins, to be in line or below the fees that are commonly found in other area communities. With that, there was a motion made by Councilor Gould to approve the proposed fees in the communication from the sealer of weights and measures, Mr. Collins, dated July 31st, 2025, and to update the schedule on file of such fees in the city clerk's office. That motion passed the Finance Committee unanimously. I now bring it for consideration of the full council. So moved.
You heard the motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilors Turco.
Yes.
Peach.
Yes.
Gould.
Yes.
Gamache.
Yes.
Higgins.
Yes.
Manning Martin.
Yes.
Welton.
Yes.
McGinn.
Yes.
Rozignol.
Yes.
Melville.
Yes.
Daigle.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Thank you. Counselor McGinn.
Thank you, Madam President. The last item on the agenda was transfer of funds, CPC Cemetery Restoration, Old South, an amount of $19,000. That was presented to us by the Director of Finance, Mr. Gingras. This was a request from the Community Preservation Commission for a project at the Old South Cemetery. There was a motion made by Councilor Gould after he had praised their ongoing work for the preservation of these historic cemeteries. The motion was as follows. Move to approve transfer requests, account number 270-0000033022, CPC Historic Preservation, an amount of $19,000, to account number 270-1811-58563-2024-000394, CPC Cemetery Restoration, Old South, in an amount of $19,000. Madam President, that motion passed the Finance Committee unanimously. I now bring it for consideration of the full council. So moved.
Thank you. You heard the motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Councilors Turco.
Yes.
Peach.
Yes.
Gould.
Yes.
Gamache.
Yes.
Higgins.
Yes.
Manning Martin.
Yes.
Welton.
Yes.
McGinn.
Yes.
Rozignol.
Yes.
Melville.
Yes.
Daigle.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Thank you. Counselor McGinn, anything else?
Thank you, Madam President. That completes the report.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to motions, orders, and resolutions. Counselor Turco.
No motions, Madam President.
Thank you, Counselor Turco. Counselor Peach.
No motions, Madam President.
Thank you, Counselor Peach. Counselor Gould.
No motions, Madam President.
Thank you, Counselor Gould. Counselor Gamache.
Yes, under suspension rules, go to 8D. I'm sorry, not 8D, 8C, communication from Kurt Bellavance concerning 176 Newbury Street and what they can do for that property. So moved.
Would you like to refer that to legal, Counselor?
Throw it in legal? Yeah, put it in legal affairs.
We'll throw it there. You heard the motion. All in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Counselor Gamache.
No further motions?
Thank you, Counselor Gamache. Counselor Higgins.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to, under suspension of the rules, I'd like to accept item 8D, which is an application for a special permit. And I'd like to, the city clerk to schedule and advertise a public hearing. So moved.
You heard the motion. All in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Counselor Higgins.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to make a motion requesting PMLP and to work with the DPS Engineering Department for a streetlight installation on pole number 527 on Antigua Circle. So moved.
You heard the motion. All in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Counselor Higgins.
I have no further motions. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Higgins. Counselor Manning Martin.
No motions this evening. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Counselor Manning Martin. Counselor Welton.
Thank you, Madam President. Move to receive and approve item 9B, all papers being in order for a Halloween block party on Batchelder Ave. So moved.
You heard the motion. All in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Counselor Welton.
Thank you, Madam President. And also, as a reminder, this evening we approved a special request for a cornhole tournament in memory and in support of in memory of Jason Bernard and in support of ongoing efforts from his family and the city to provide support for youth in our city. That's on September 20th, just as a reminder for folks at Veterans Park on Walnut Street. There is opportunity to still enter teams, so we appreciate the family doing something in Jason's memory to benefit the youth of our city. So that's it for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Counselor Welton. You heard the motion. All in favor, any opposed? This is item 9C.
Sorry, Madam President, we already took that. Just wanted to have that more as
Okay.
a public information, but thank you.
Thank you.
We
for
already
the
approved that.
The shout
Thank you.
out. Thank you very much. Any other motions? Counselor Welton?
No further motions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Counselor McGinn?
Thank you, Madam President. On suspension of the rules, move to receive item 7A and refer to finance. So moved.
You heard the motion. All in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Counselor McGinn?
Thank you, Madam President. On suspension of the rules, move to receive item 7B and refer to finance. So moved.
You heard the motion. All in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Counselor McGinn?
Thank you, Madam President. On suspension of the rules, move to receive item 7D and refer to finance. So moved.
You heard the motion. All in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Counselor McGinn?
Madam President, on the suspension of the rules, move to receive item 8E and refer to the 195 Washington Street matter. So moved.
You heard the motion. All in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Counselor McGinn?
Thank you, Madam President. On the suspension of the rules, move to receive item 8F and refer to the 195 Washington Street matter. So moved.
You heard the motion. All in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Counselor McGinn?
Thank you, Madam President. Move to schedule the continued Class 2 motor vehicle license transfer hearing for 195 Washington Street, originally scheduled for October 24th, 2024. Further move that abutters be re-notified to a current abutters list, that the hearing be re-advertised, and that all departmental responses be updated, including an updated query check. So moved.
You heard the motion. All in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Counselor McGinn?
Thank you, Madam President. No further motions.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Rossignol.
Thank you, Madam President. Under suspension of the rules, motion to receive item 8A and send to legal.
You heard the motion. All in favor? Any opposed? It's a vote. Counselor Rossignol.
Thank you, Madam President. I forgot to mention during my report of committee that there were 2 other motions regarding late 4 and late 5. We received both of those. I now bring that to the council. So moved.
Thank you. You heard the motion. All in favor? Any opposed? It's a vote. Counselor Rossignol.
Thank you, Madam President. Under suspension of rules, motion to receive item 8B. So moved. They're not going to do one.
You heard the motion. All in favor? Any opposed? It's a vote. Counselor Rossignol.
Thank you, Madam President. Under suspension of rules, motion receive item 8G and send it back to Community Development so that he can send it to the DPW Director for comment as well as Concom. So moved.
You heard the motion. All in favor? Any opposed? It's a vote. Counselor Rossignol.
Thank you, Madam President. Under suspension of rules, motion to receive and approve item 9A, junk dealer's license for Threads 99 Lynn Street, and schedule a public hearing.
You heard the motion. All in favor? Any opposed? It's a vote. Counselor Rossignol.
No further motions. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. You cleaned a lot of things up. Counselor Melville.
No further motions, thank you.
I have no motions, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.